That.
Imagine that. Okay. There we go. Let's have a nice little intro here with some water. Good morning, Shanda.
Good morning, Oz. Good morning, divers.
Hey, Al. Hey, cheese, man. Cheese. Now, I hope that's vegan cheese. Cheese, man. You better make sure it's vegan cheese. Oh, my God. What a... I'm grumpy this morning, Shanda.
I know, you're grumpy pants.
I'm grumpy pants this morning. Oh, my God. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I just found out why our restream didn't go through to Rockfin yesterday, and I'm grumpy about it. It should have never happened, but that's what we need to do. When we're working with other individuals, we need to up our communication skills so we don't have these problems. Anyway.
Yeah, that is a problem in the progressive movement.
Yeah, it is. And communication is like we have one side communicating to us, yes, we want you to vote for the guy who did the crime bill, who's put Social Security on the table, who helped rig an election, who accepted the primary results of a rigged election, but we want to vote for you.
Not to mention groped massive amounts of little kids on camera.
Well, yeah, and you know, very credible evidence that he the Tara Reid thing, you know,
yes,
and
yes.
and I want to tell you, if there's one, there's others. Am I an angel? No. But did I ever do anything like that? No. Was I ever accused of doing anything like that? No. So, let's make that the new leader of the free world. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. That's. I got to get that shit off my chest every day. Curious. Good morning. Good morning, Curious. We're doing all kinds of things these days, but today is not one of them. We're just going to have a very, very, Tuesday, yeah, it's Tuesday, and you know, it's like I overslept and we got all this stuff, but you know, it's just like blah 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 blah. Excuses are like what? Here, I wanna have a happy story here. Let's show this happy story. Can you tell everybody about this happy story if they don't already know?
Oh yeah, you know, actually the chat turned me on to this story yesterday. 93-year-old Florida woman on oxygen living in an independent living facility was evicted and thrown out on the streets because she couldn't pay her rent.
Now, how does that work? How could a judge? Well, maybe there is no judge there. She was just thrown out. They just went in with her name. So how could the cops that went to throw her out, or what personnel, with all good conscience, do that? I don't know.
I was just following orders.
It was just following orders. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, follow your orders and shove your orders up your butt. We need people to start standing up for what's right in this country.
What if it was their grandma?
Yeah, what if it was their grandma? You know, and even though, okay, somebody say, well, that story's been debunked, but it's happening. You know damn well it's happening, whether they're 93 or 73. What is the litmus to that? Well, if they're 73, it's okay if they're on oxygen. If they're 63 or if they're disabled, it's okay if they're disabled, you know. I mean, where do you draw the line on this kind of crap? So again, I just every day is just a new exercise in rage and frustration. So I guess let's kick it over to something a little bit more fun out of the gate. Now I got my pissed off out of the way. What's this one about?
Oh, this is my best meme. You know, I have a lot of people on my Facebook page. You guys go over and send me a friend request because my page is all things progressive. I live a public page. So this is my meme that's doing the best this week. It really puts it into perspective, you know, the dinosaurs, and there's a meteorite coming, and they're like, but oh shit, the economy.
Oh shit, the economy. Yeah, it took me a second to get that. I thought, is this wishful thinking, or what the hell is this stuff? But yeah, no, I get it. Oh shit. Everything is okay throwing out 93-year-old ladies that are on oxygen, but the economy trumps all. So I don't know what do I say?
Not just little old ladies, it's businesses. I saw a report yesterday that some huge amount of restaurants in New York won't reopen because of the pandemic.
Did you say 80%? 80% or
something like 87% can't pay their rent for July.
87%. Now, how does that work in New York, especially premium premium space in New York.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but again, here's the thing: if 87% of them can't reopen because of the COVID thing, are they getting enough business to keep them open if they were open? Social,
well, I would say yeah.
Social distancing. I mean, I don't know, because we've got possibly 30 to 40 million people going to be out of work here in the next. Well,
if you believe their numbers.
If you believe theirs number, yeah, it's probably much higher. And 60% of all small businesses are done forever. Is that correct, or that's what I'm hearing?
Yep.
I mean, because
60% of Yelp restaurants won't return.
60%. Okay, not that we can believe mainstream media. I mean, we don't look at these sources from just MSNBS or CNN or anything else, but a lot of people are chained to that stuff because that's the only thing they have. But exactly. I err on the side of caution anytime I get these stats and facts.
Even if it's only 40%. Oh my God! Right?
Yeah. Jilly Love. Yeah. How many children? Okay, yeah. Let's go to the schools thing right now. I know you've got a buttload to say about that. How many children have to die before we take it seriously? Now, Shanda, you had a nice video that you shared around yesterday. I don't have it here, but it was of the school superintendent saying how great they were, or what measures they were taking to make it possible for kids to go back to school. Can you go into that a little bit?
Our school superintendent yesterday sent out a video to our whole district, and this guy, like you described him, I went by a used car from this guy. He looks like the PE teacher. He's the superintendent. Anyways, he comes out and he tells us our plan for sending our kids back to school. We're going to have AA groups and BB groups, and they're going to phase them in. They'll go 2 days a week. Thursday and Mondays will be AA and BB. But so the special needs kids and poor kids that can't afford to be online will physically go to the brick and mortar building, but they will have their temperature taken. They will have to wear masks. They will have to social distance, and they will have somebody standing over them, making sure that they're washing their hands. They're doing this. This is for kindergartners. And then if it goes well, then they'll start phasing in like the first grade will come in the next week. So they'll be alternating. They won't have more than 200 kids in the school for the whole district. This is like 3 schools. It's insanity. It is complete, absolute insanity. They even admit that they really messed it up last spring. This all caught them off guard, is what they said. So they're trying to come up with a better way to do online schooling. So our kids are all going to be sitting in front of laptops doing Zoom meetings, it sounds like. It's just insane. And what's going to happen? We're going to be 2-3 weeks into it, and kids are going to start getting sick. Parents are going to start getting sick. Grandparents are going to start dying, and they're just going to shut us down again. I don't even know why we're wasting our time and money. And I'm not sending my grandson to his first day of kindergarten to have the shit scared out of him by somebody wearing a face mask and a shield. And what kind of memory is that for a kid? It's completely.
Well, how can they go to school? Yeah, how can they go to school and in the right frame of mind when they walk into a science fiction movie scenario? I mean, they're going to be terrified. How can you learn in that environment? It's like they're going to be looking over the shoulders because the monster's going to get them, the little kids, the whole time. I told you earlier, they should take all that money that they're going to be spending to keep that infrastructure running at a minimal level, like a trickle, and take care of these disadvantaged children. Give them a damn laptop and make sure they have internet access, and let's just get with a program and do the homeschooling through the internet, get everybody on board, and those who can't, figure out a one location where they can, or whatever, just figure it out. We should have the brains to do this. I don't know, maybe you folks in the chat have a better idea. I haven't thought long and hard about this, up until the last couple of weeks. I'm still working on it. So again, this is just nuts. I'll tell you again, if I had a school-age child, they wouldn't be going to school right now. So just forget it. And all the polls that I've seen online, the majority of people say, no, are you kidding me? No, they're not going to do it. So,
which makes it harder on me because I'm trying to step up. My oldest daughter is raising my youngest daughter's children. So we have, I have 3 grandkids, and I'm taking them every day. The kids are here. I don't know what else to do. I have to just step up and help my daughter. She's got to work. Yeah, I don't. It's on the grandparents to help the parents because there is no help out there. Nobody gives a shit how these parents are supposed to go to work. What if you have a kid that's AA and then the other kid's BB and you're trying to juggle daycare and this kid goes 2 days a week, Thursday and Monday, and this kid goes, Friday and Tuesday? It's just insanity.
Well, yeah, maybe Cheeseman gave me a comment here, but Oz, they need to fund the wars and jets and bombs and da-da-da-da-da-da. Maybe they're conditioning these kids for the next war that they're going to send them to when they're 18 years old, like we're in now in Iraq.
They're always conditioning.
It's social conditioning. Yeah, this is the new norm. We've got to get you ready to go. Melissa just voted now at my shop to enter an order into the system on my day off. Won't be too much in chat. I really need to work. I mean it. So you'll probably hear from me in a minute or two. No problem, Melissa. That's committed. We appreciate that. We appreciate everything. Hey, Jilly, what's going on? Human, good morning. Good morning, human. Good morning. I'm aghast at everything. Which are we going to talk about the DNC convention, the speaker list, or?
I just watched a good David Dull video this morning where he talks about the lineup. What a disgusting display of corporate power.
Yeah, and who's not on the lineup? That's in contention.
Well, Bernie opens, so they threw us a crumb. And then AOC got a talking spot
at lunchtime
on Thursday or something. That was just to shut us up.
And that was at lunchtime, right? Everybody's going to be at lunch.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's none of the rest of the squads there, but they got some really good neolibs and a few Republicans talking. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, so it's neolib and Republican. That's what's for dinner is the neolib and the Republican. But Susan Rice isn't on the list. What does that mean?
No, Susan Rice is not on the list.
So is she going to be the surprise speaker when she gets announced as VP? I'm still going with Kamala. I still think they're going to take Kamala.
No, I'm beginning to think it's Rice. I really am.
Really? So you're going to go with Rice. So Shanda says Rice. I say Kamala. And we'll know next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. We'll know. A week from today, we'll know.
Yeah, we know it won't be Bass because if she's as progressive as they say, they will never go near.
Yeah, and those who are Nina Turner endorsed Bass, so that knocks
right there.
Yeah, no, it's done. They're not going to. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to give you nothing. And like you said before, Bass has been working with what's his name?
Chris Dodd,
the banking guy. So that's her claim to glory with this thing. But yeah. So Harris, the Warhawk, which, oh my God, she has some sketchy financial stuff from what I heard this morning too. Yeah, she's invested in some. I think the Keystone XL pipeline, the TPP thing, was probably she was rooting for her. So,
well, I'm sure Obama told her it was a good deal.
Well, yeah, I guess her and Obama were attached at the hip for a long time. By profession, no sexual innuendo there. Speaking of that, Alex Morris.
He's not into girls.
Alex Morris has been the Richard Neal Alex Morris race back east there. The Richard Neal's a big scumbag that's owned by the pharmaceutical companies and tanked anything to do. Yeah, he's a Dem scumbag and a half. And Alex Morris, they basically have trolled him and made him look like he's some sort of predator of college students, which he's done nothing wrong. From what we can say. So this is the level they're at.
Yet they protect the real predators.
They protect the real predators, and they're just hanging all the dirty laundry they can and seeing if it'll stick to these guys. So Alex Morris is still our friend. Our friends back in Massachusetts were supporting Alex Morris, which I support him too. I still do. I still don't buy this shit. When they let the Tara Reid thing just fly away in the wind with the highest office in the world or in the country, whatever, and then they pick on a gay man, a gay mayor who make it look like he had some sort of sketchy past to defame him in the public. This cancel culture, is that what that is? Is that cancel culture? Is that, is really having a dire effect on our politics in the sense of they're pointing at progressives. But when you get these cons, these neoliberals, and neoliberal, I heard somebody say the other day, a neoliberal, you can be a Republican or a Democrat. You're still a neoliberal. And I believe that. So,
Right.
you know, I mean, it doesn't make any difference. So, again, that's, I just wanted to jump in there. So, Alex Morris, they're framing him up bad because Richard Neal is just a horrible, 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 horrible person all the way around. Let's jump over to the where the hell is the Jordan clip? Let's.
Oh yeah, we can talk about who's funding Biden's campaign.
Yeah, is this it? Yeah, status coup. Now we're gonna run this clip for what, a few minutes here, 4 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, it's a really good in-depth. You know, Jordan. We don't run a lot of Jordan just because he goes so in-depth, and his reports are normally very long. And it's kind of hard to chop them up. But this one's so important. People need to understand who's behind Biden right now. And so we're just going to play it. I say 408, cut it, but we can stop in the middle and talk about it. That way we're not.
Yeah, let's just kind of skip through this a little bit and start out so they can get an idea what's going on. The Joe Biden donors. This is going to be no surprise, but let's check it out.
It will be a little surprising.
As the checks rolls in, the Biden campaign has been carefully cultivating its relationship with the business community, with a focus on Wall Street. The outreach has included offering private briefings ahead of major policy rollouts and dangling various donor packages for the upcoming and mostly virtual Democratic National Convention. Oh, you gotta love private briefings for donors. In one call last month, two of Biden's top advisors on financial policy, Ben Harris and Jake Sullivan, led a wide-ranging conversation to preview the candidate's economic plan, which focuses on broad policy initiatives like investing in green infrastructure projects and minority-owned businesses. Two former Treasury Secretaries, Robert E. Rubin and Jacob J. Lew, were part of the call. Now, folks, for those of you born a little after the 90s, do you know who Robert Rubin is? There he is. You know who Robert Rubin is? Anybody?
Yeah.
All right. Robert Rubin was Bill Clinton's Treasury Secretary. Robert Rubin was a major, and I mean major, servant of Wall Street. Here's a little article. Wall Street deregulation pushed by Clinton advisors, documents reveal. Wall Street deregulation, blamed for deepening the bank crisis, the 2008 financial crash, was aggressively pushed by advisors to Bill Clinton, who have also been at the heart of current White House policymaking, according to newly disclosed documents from his presidential library. This was written when Obama was still president. The previously restricted papers reveal two separate attempts in 1995 and 1997 to hurry President Clinton into supporting a repeal of the Depression-era Glass-Steagall and allow investment banks, insurers, and retail banks to merge. A Financial Services Modernization Act was passed by Congress in 1999, aka the repeal of Glass-Steagall, which then led to the 2008 financial crash, giving retrospective clearance to the 1998 merger of Citigroup and Travelers Group and unleashing a wave of Wall Street consolidation that was later blamed for forcing taxpayers to spend billions bailing out the enlarged banks after the subprime mortgage crash. The White House papers show only limited discussions of the risk of such deregulation, but include a private note which reveals that details of a deal with Citigroup to clear its merger in advance of the legislation were deleted from official documents. Quote, "Please eat this paper after you have read it," jokes the handwritten 1998 note addressed to Gene Sperling, then director of Clinton's National Economic Council. Earlier in 1995, newly appointed Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin, his deputy Bo Cutter, and senior advisors including John Podesta, we know John Podesta, gave the president 3 days to decide whether to back a repeal of Glass-Steagall. In what Cutter described as an action-forcing event, He wrote to Clinton on February 21st telling him that Rubin wanted to announce the policy before it was raised by the House Banking Committee on March 1st. Quote, in order to position Secretary Rubin, rather than any of the regulators, as the administration's chief spokesperson on this issue, the Secretary intends to discuss the administration's position at a speech which will be covered by the press on February 27th. Bill Clinton's advisors repeatedly reassured him that the decision to let Wall Street dismantle regulatory barriers designed to protect the public after the Great Depression simply represented inevitable modernization. Modernization.
All right, tell me about that.
So this pretty much tells you the worst architects of, for one, repealing Glass-Steagall, which if you are a true progressive, you understand that we have been fighting to reinstate Glass-Steagall for years now, was created by these guys. They shoved it down Clinton's throat. They got him to pass it because they knew that they could grow these big banks. They could merge them into the biggest lenders in the world. You know, Jordan did some really good in-depth, I think this is like a 10, 15-minute little rant he does, but it's investigative journalism, you know, going in and reading these memos. Eat this memo after you read it, you know, because they know damn well what they were doing. But it just talks to how corrupt Biden's campaign truly is behind the scenes. We got Chris Dodd. Go check him out. He is a scumball, slimeball of the worst degree. We've got these guys. If you think that a vote for Biden is going to bring us back to normal, it's just going to gut this country even more and empower the global elite all the same, all the more.
But Trump. Hey, and here's from today. Cuomo is protecting his Wall Street donors from Democratic tax bills. Well, no surprise. I mean, what's so special about Democrats? What?
They're supposed to be for the people.
They're supposed to be for the people. Again, I ask again, what has the Democratic Party done for the people versus what they've done for corporations and pieces of shit like this for the last 40 decades? I mean,
well, the key word is inevitable modernization.
Inevitable. Boy, that's a fancy wrapping for a package of turds. Inevitable modernization. Did I say that right? What's right. Modernization? Is that making the poor poorer and the rich richer? Right? That's that income disparity thing. So, again, what can we do about this sort of thing? Well, we can get in the streets. We can get out our tools to help democracy move forward. I just don't know. I don't know what we can do anymore. Do I have a clip here of what some people are doing around the world in the streets?
Oh, yeah.
I think I do.
Good clips yesterday.
Yeah, I think I do.
We got some gallows being built.
Yeah, we got some gallows being built. Let me show that. But anyway, Shanda, what are some of the other things we can do? We can. Well, we protest.
We put pressure on them. Look at what they did in Seattle. They put so much pressure on the chief of police in Seattle over the last 3 months that she resigned yesterday.
Yeah, she resigned yesterday. I'm really happy about that resignation. Let me see. Oh, here's what they're doing in Lebanon after this. Let me put this up here. Get
a rope.
This is kind of nice. I kind of like this. It's it's imagery that might get anybody to
their whole entire government quit yesterday.
Yeah,
government resigned. I'm not hanging for these fuckers.
They resigned. They resigned. Now that's pressure. That's taking it to their house. Kind of like this. And I know these metaphors are the pearl clutchers would probably just break their nails into their palms, but they're leaving us no choice anymore. We're
so radical.
We're so radical, and that's image. That's promoting death and war and revolution and all this other stuff. And I just I don't think so. I think that's where we're at now. We don't have.
Jilly will talk about that.
We don't have the choices. Is Jilly wants to talk about something?
She wants to talk about Seth Rich. Yeah, we got that story lined up.
Yeah, it's coming up there, Jilly. Hey, Osama, welcome. Can Can we collapse today, please? Yeah, Osama's ready. Keith Hayes. Yeah, the old Democratic Party is gone. It is not about the people. Of course, it's not. It hasn't been about.
That is Istanbul. It might be. I learned a lot about Istanbul, but history-wise, I've been studying the ancient Byzantines.
The Byzantines?
And you know what they did? What every civilization that collapsed does, and I've been following 10,000 years of history of civilizations collapsing. Every fucking one of them builds a wall right before they lose their shit.
They build a wall before they lose their shit.
I laugh about that. I'm like, why do they all build walls?
Yeah, and now the Great Wall of China? How'd that work out? Did that actually work for them? The Great Wall of China? Because
I've been studying the Han Dynasty. I really don't. I don't know.
I thought the Huns got through at some point, but they weren't successful or whatever. I don't know. But that maybe that's a success story on the wall. Now, how many 100 years did it take to build that wall? I don't know. I don't know what the hell.
They occupy too many places. They enrich the elite, and they build walls. And
they build walls.
Like every time they collapse.
They build walls. They build walls. Well, like you said, they better get going on the seawall in Seattle before they have a Ferris wheel in the water, right?
Yeah.
That's failing. That's failing. Anyway, Insight and Awareness, good morning. How are you doing today? Let's see. You want to go through this clip a little bit more? You're at 4:10, so.
No, I think we got the point. Go fight in Jordan. We love Jordan. I haven't been happy with Status Quo because I feel like every time I watch it, he's just begging for viewers and money.
Yeah.
But you got to remember what Jordan has done.
Yeah.
And what Jordan is capable of doing. He's the only person we've seen get in Donna Brazil's face and call her out for what she did.
Yeah.
He has the balls to actually follow through, and he is a hell of an investigative reporter. So
get
out there and support independent media, guys.
Yeah, I have no urge to get in a fight with my progressive social media speakers one way or another, because there are days where we're in complete alignment, and then there are days that we're not.
I love Fall of Civilizations. I've watched every one.
Fallen Civilizations. Well, you're watching another one before your eyes, Shanda. So that's where we're going.
That's a great podcast. Check it out. Yeah. Keith says, check out Fall of Civilizations. It's a podcast on YouTube.
I've heard about that one. It sounds.
Yeah, it's amazing. I sleep to it every night.
Yeah.
Like it just plays in the background.
Can we go back to a little local stuff here real quick before we get on? Let me see if I can find this and not crash the studio. Who's that?
That would be Bess, the chief of police of Seattle, who will be resigning effective September 2nd.
So she came out and resigned yesterday. What?
She can't take it. She's taken a shit ton of... well, she's the one who unleashed tear gas on peaceful protesters when we've already passed a law saying you can't do that.
She did that? I thought that was the feds.
No, that was her.
She unleashed tear gas. Wow. Okay. So... September. So when's Durkin? Is Durkin next? That's Seattle mayor?
Durkin should have been first. I don't know. Keep putting the pressure, guys. We got to keep bringing the pressure. We need to get rid of Durkin, everybody thinks Seattle is such a crazy progressive city, but I'm here to tell you that it is encompassed and has been engulfed by neoliberals for at least 10 years. They've controlled the Seattle. The only thing progressive about Seattle is the few city council members that we have.
Well, yeah, Seattle. When I think of Seattle, what I think of Lex Luthor. I think of Billy Bob Gates, and I think of very wealthy Boeing executives, and so they've kind of made that their little fiefdom between, of course, Lex Luthor, who's the king, and then Billy Boy Gates, and then you have the big corporation. It's a port city, so it's a plum thing. And who's fighting all those people up in Seattle the hardest? I think it's Kshama Sawant, right?
The socialist alternative. But it's not just them, because they partnered.
No, it's not with them.
They joined forces with BLM and all of the other, the POC groups that are fighting for control of their own. I mean, Capitol Hill, if you look at that district and who lives in that district, it's theirs. Why the hell are they up there trying to tell them any different? And so, yesterday they voted to defund 100 police jobs in Seattle.
Jobs,
as far as I know.
Specific jobs, or just 100 policemen?
No, they're going to cut 100 police off the force. So that was part of yesterday's vote.
Where are they going to go work, in Portland? Maybe.
Sure. Did you see Portland? Portland's been bad.
Yeah.
The last few days.
Yeah.
Few nights.
Actually, Portland's been good, right? Portland. Yeah, it's been rough down there. I mean, it's getting rougher and rougher and rougher.
Yeah, it's getting rough again.
Yeah, it's getting rough again. But I haven't seen the kind of coverage from the independent media people like
No, they're shutting it down with stingrays and what's the other? Strikers. Stingrays and strikers.
So they want to keep that away from the general public, so the general public doesn't get riled up either way.
Yeah.
And but I think in the long run, when you see your own populace fighting against, the Gestapo, terrible metaphor, but the tactics that these police forces, these heavily militarized police forces, you start to think, I said something and nobody came to speak for me, and then the Niemeyer thing all the way down, and it's going to happen. So. That's where we're at. Where are we going now?
Exactly.
We've been to Seattle and Portland.
Let's go to Seth Rich.
Seth Rich. Where is Seth Rich? Oh, here's Seth Rich. Now, this
doesn't have a video. This is just an article.
Okay,
but the article goes on to say that a judge has ruled that Julian Assange has to testify as to whether or not Seth Rich was involved in the DNC leaks, not hacks, leaks. And because Fox News aired a bit saying that Seth Rich could possibly be the source of these leaks. And now Seth Rich's family is suing Fox News for implementing him in this, saying that, no, he was just randomly murdered on the street. He didn't have anything to do with the WikiLeaks. We know that Julian Assange alluded to the fact that Seth Rich may have been the leak, and he even put out a reward for information leading to Seth Rich's murderer, And if you've been following this story, I have no doubt that Seth Rich is the actual leak. But will Julian give his source? I kind of doubt it, but who knows, man? They've been torturing the shit out of him.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's only so much a person can take, and who knows what kind of dope, or they can put chips in your head and use a garage door remote control to make your mouth move. Can
you scroll that article? Because they want to know what judge ordered this. I want to say it was a federal judge.
Let me see if I can do this. I'm a little bit
this happened last Wednesday, and that's how far away from mainstream media that this story has been.
Let's see.
It took me 4 days to find this story.
Imprisonment ordered to testify in a lawsuit concerning unresolved murder of Democratic National Committee employee Seth Rich. And the case was brought by the Rich's family against Fox News for publishing now retracted May 17 report, citing allegations that Rich was murdered as part of a plot to conceal the leak of DNC emails. That's what I thought.
It didn't say which judge. Yeah, I don't know what judge it was. I would assume it's a federal judge.
The Hague Convention.
U.S. judge.
Where is it?
It just says U.S. judge. So
yeah, a U.S. judge. Okay, yeah. So now I thought. Now, explain this to me. So his family, for publishing now retracted story citing allegations that Rich was murdered as part of a plot to conceal the leak of DNA. I thought that's what it was, a plot to conceal the DNA.
Well, I have a theory about this. I have a theory that the DNC has gone to the Seth Rich family and put a lot of pressure on them. You're good Democrats. How dare you trash your son's name, blah, blah, blah. The pressure definitely has came from the DNC onto the Rich family. So from day one, the Rich family has been very quiet. They have denied that, Seth Rich did do this. They say he was just randomly, murdered, shot in the back of the head.
Bullshit. I think you're right. I think the family either is to the point where they've just had it. They want him to rest in peace. They don't want any more garbage surrounding him. True or not, they want to put an end to it because, in my situation, I've been contemplating. My parents died, like 5 years ago between, a couple years in between. And the pictures on the wall of my parents, I think I need to take them down. Because I'm just reliving that. And in this case, this is how I juxtapose over to this. They see Seth Rich in the media all the time. Maybe that is mentally destroying their hearts. because of what happened. Me personally, if I suspected, which I still suspect, that the DNC and the plutocrats, the oligarch behind the DNC and the corrupt wealthiest in this country actually did do this, because I think Bill Binney even said it had to be
Bill Binney said the download rate had to have been onto a flash drive. There was no way that this was hacked. There's no way somebody came in and transferred it over the internet. The transfer speed. Check out Bill Binney if you want to know the truth. We got a lot of pushback from people saying Fox News telling the truth. Hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, Fox did tell the truth on this one. I know a lot about the Seth Rich case because I was immersed in it. I was living it. As a Bernie delegate.
It's not just Fox News. They're just trying to bend it Fox style, because we've seen this. And Bill Binney's no slouch. He was he's a CIA analyst for decades, and he has won several awards for his expertise in the field. And again, a transfer bit rate, and I don't want to get into the minutia of the tech about it because I'm no tech, but I do know a little bit. Why would he do?
Hope you're the engineer.
Well, shit, who knows these days? It's just I can only do. But a bit rate, an open bit rate going through a computer can be caught a lot easier than somebody just popping a flash drive in, dragging it to a flash drive, and taking it out of there. So why would he risk that? I mean, really, why would he risk it in the first place? I don't know. Why did
Seth Rich risk it?
Yeah.
Because he was a Bernie Sanders supporter and he was high up in the DNC. He saw damn well how they were playing him.
It was wrong.
Put the thumb on the weight.
Yeah. Why did Tulsi Gabbard walk away from a assured position that she could have been possibly the first female VP? Yep. They were grooming her for. Why did she do that? Because it was wrong. And this shit's got to stop. I don't have no tinfoil hat. I just watch it and I call them as I see them. That's it.
The worst part of all of this is if you go back and you look at the dates and the times when Seth possibly downloaded this, how he got it to WikiLeaks, and when he was murdered, he didn't have the information on him anymore when they murdered him. That information had already been given to WikiLeaks. They did it purely out of vengeance, out of spite, because how dare him betray us and take our data and give it to
they're sending
messages. So they killed him intentionally as a message to don't do this.
Very public execution.
Yep.
That's what they do. And if you say, oh, no way.
Well, it goes much worse than that. There's some stories out there from ER doctors that were on the floor, residents, saying that he lived for quite a few hours after the shot to his head, and that they weren't allowed to administer medical help. They put him on the second floor of the hospital. He was surrounded by Metro police. And if you know anything about the DC Metro, they're controlled by the Clinton wing. They have been. With the State Department.
Yeah.
And that they circled that second floor and they wouldn't let anybody near it.
Yeah. Don't believe what you want to believe. Just listen. Just collate.
The truth is out there.
Yeah.
And you know what? History will reveal eventually what actually happened in 2016.
Yeah. By the way,
I know we were on the right side of it.
Yeah. By the way, Epstein hung himself.
Oh, yeah, Tim, a year ago yesterday, right?
Yeah, Epstein hung himself. Oh, sure he did. That's, and he crushed his neck with his left hand while he was hanging himself.
But I don't even know if Julian will actually make it to...
I don't think so.
I think that he will get Epstein way before they actually step into a courtroom with him.
Yeah, and I got to say again, Ghislaine Maxwell, I mean, Jesus, if she doesn't have a trigger that goes off and exposes everybody, she's stupid. She's stupid.
Her
she has to.
Assistant disappeared.
What do you mean disappeared? Like somebody got him, or he just disappeared?
It's her, and apparently she was deeply involved with everything, and she's just out of the country, gone. Nobody knows where she is.
Well, that would make a good trigger, but I don't know if I'd use a biological trigger. I'd set up. I don't know. This thing is just turning into a mess. But what do you think? What do you think the chances? What are the chances of Ghislaine Maxwell living to see the trial and whatever, make a deal? And the charges are still not.
Oh, I think she'll live. I don't think they'll suicide her. She's got too much garbage, too much dirt on everybody. And a lot of, if you go and you look at who's actually prosecuting this case, they have a lot of ties to her, And I think that she'll get a slap on the wrist. Most of this will get swept under the rug, and it'll just be forgotten about.
So
She's not going to die. They're not going to do shit to her.
So they're going to optically make it like she's really getting the book thrown at her, but she's really not. It's going to be like club fed for her, right? And they're just going to keep her alive because of all of her contacts. I mean, she had months and months and months to set up a dead man switch. And if she didn't, years. But I mean, I think Pasta and Fee said somebody spotted her down in California at a hamburger place, and I'm going,
yeah, I think that was a doctored photo. That go check that out. That was really weird.
Yeah, that was weird. But that being said, the whole point I'm making is that she had lots of time because she was being looked for. So I don't know. It's just a mess. Anyway, I hope that suffices for our Julian Assange risk session this morning. Good morning. Hey, there's Amber King.
Yeah, Amber King's with us.
Amber
Hope you're
King.
having fun.
Yeah, I hope you're having fun out in the sticks. I think she's like they're swimming to the bottom of Crater Lake to recover buried treasure. I think that's where. I'm not sure if that's where they are. So is
No, I know where they are. They're actually pretty close to me.
Oh, they are. They are. Oh, okay. Well,
they were.
Social distancing, right? Right. Yeah. I saw some pictures. She was out there, and Franklin was showing off his physique to everybody.
Do you know how cold that damn water is?
Well, I'm sure I'd get nipply in there, wouldn't I? Yeah, that's pretty cold up there, up in your neck of the woods. I used to live in Bellingham.
No, it wasn't Ghislaine that took off. It's her personal secretary, her personal assistant that's missing. You know, come on. It's her word against these victims' word. Epstein's dead.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Tara Reid, 220, 221, whatever. Right. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so surreal.
She made it to Oregon.
I'm rooting for the dinosaurs. Oh, you are in Oregon. Wow. So you are at Crater Lake looking for treasure.
Dennis from Germany is here.
Dennis. Wie geht's, Dennis? Hey, good evening. God, you're up late, Dennis.
Yeah, it's late there. It's morning here, but it's hot in Germany. Oh, it's not that hot here.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad here. We've had I'm in Olympia, so this has been the coolest summer, the most moderate summer, and I grew up in Portland, Oregon, so that I've ever experienced in my life. It's been so
it is pretty moderate. And, you know, the rain, I forgot that, well, I didn't forget. I just
still
filed
dry
in the back of my mind that we were in a drought in March and April and coming into May of this year, especially on the Olympic Peninsula. And we've had very little rain this summer, so I'm very, very concerned about our fire season coming in.
Oh, yeah. August. Yeah. We could have a hell of a fire season. And meanwhile, we're saying how moderately cool and breezy and beautiful it is.
But there's no rain, so it doesn't matter how cool it is.
Yeah, it's dry as hell. I mean, I keep screaming at my wife. I said, "You're not giving the corn enough water." I mean, we got corn out there, but it's
6 gallons.
Yeah, it's like these little stalks, and I said we're gonna have these little like breadstick sized corns, and
the baby corn.
The baby corns, we can make Chinese soup. That'd be great. I think it's perfect for that. But anyway, it's a learning experience. We did get the greenhouse. I'm gonna shoot some pictures and show them to everybody. It's the greenhouse, but we're gonna call it.
You do.
We're gonna call it the White House, so we'll show it off in here. Well,
I got hit by a rat. I had my first zucchini growing. It was so beautiful. Every day I would go out and check on it. It was getting bigger and bigger. And yesterday morning I went out and a rat had got into the garden and taken 6 bites out of it, and it spit it out. Obviously he didn't like it, but I'm just like, now how do I keep rats out of my garden?
Oh shit. Amber would say, "Hey Amber," or "Hey Shanda, zoodles. Make zoodles out of that zucchini and then feed them to the rats." Zoodles. Yeah, you make
I don't know what the hell that is.
You make zucchini noodles, I guess. I mean, zucchinis. You know what I do?
Isn't that what spaghetti squash is for?
Yeah, well, yeah, spaghetti squash. Sure, why not? It's squash is squash. You can make zoodles out of zucchini. But, you know, we grew these zucchinis that were like, wow, you know, it'd make, like I said yesterday, it'd make John Holmes blush. John Holmes blush. But they're about, I'd say 4 inches in diameter. What we do is we slice them into like hamburger patties, and we take those... sorry to the vegans out there that don't eat fish, but we take those salmon patties, those frozen salmon patties that are probably horrible for you too, but we take those slices of zucchini and put them on those salmon patties with a touch of Grey Poupon,
Oh, yeah.
and a little mayo, and it's to die for. With
burger.
that zucchini and everything. It's just fantastic. I'm sorry, I digress. We're talking about
No, I do old-fashioned fried green tomatoes and fried zucchini.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it. I
Yeah.
learned how to make it when I lived in the South.
Yeah. Oh, here's a tip for all the dog owners out there. We grow a lot of pumpkin out here, and you're thinking, you're going to end up with a bunch of pumpkins that you're not going to use, and they're just going to rot. No. Joey picks the pumpkins when they're green, and they're about the size of a cantaloupe, and she cuts those up and they're green. She cooks them up, and she mixes them with the dog food.
Yeah,
and the dogs love that. I mean, my oldest, Dharma, she's 9. I think since Joey's been having her on this vegetable bent with the weeds, mixing it with the dog food, they eat it up so fast. We mix it with their dry kibble. They are in such good shape this summer. I'd put my dogs up against even the 9-year-old versus the 3-year-old, against anybody as far as being healthy and in shape, no toxins, everything else. It's fantastic. So pumpkin, great pumpkin. Take all those pumpkins that you're not going to use and cook them up and mix them with your dry food. You're doing your dog's
I bet
fair.
it makes their coats very shiny.
Beautiful. Well, I've shown you pictures, and
I see Derma.
Yeah, and they're just wonderful. But anyway, this is our Mr. Rogers hour as far as pets go and gardening.
We digressed into gardening.
We digress.
It's something that we do in our off time, so it slips up occasionally.
Here, let me.
But I think it's something all of us need to be thinking about doing, figuring out how to do. Even vertical. I have no space to grow here, but I'm learning. I'm learning to grow in pots. I'm learning to stack stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be a necessity here very shortly.
Yeah, it is. So get the pots out. Go vegan. Go vegetarian. Let's permaculture.
Right, I love cheese. I don't know how to go vegan because I'm a cheese worshiper.
You know what? Ask Cheese Man, because they've got some great vegan. They've got some great vegan cheese out there. It's the way to go. And you can take that zucchini and you can make zucchini burgers. I mean, they're really, really good. And one thing I noticed when Cheese Man's been up here at the place in the past last year, he likes to sauce this stuff up. And it's good because what you're doing is you're adding sauce, and it creates a whole new flavor that you've never had.
Right. I see B post a lot of sauce pictures.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you haven't had these flavors in your lifetime because you've been putting them with meat, and meat is always meat, and it has that connotation, and it's but when you mix it with vegetables, it's really the sauce makes the vegetable take on a whole different flavor. I highly recommend getting off the meat because it's not good for you.
I know. I'm turned off by it. I have a hard time eating meat. I'll take a bite of it, and then the guilt kicks in.
Yeah, well, and the guilt.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want this.
Yeah, and the guilt is, just the origin of how this meat gets to your table makes me sick to my stomach because unless we want to, that's not how it is. But anyway, I don't want to get into that fight today. So I want to cheer everybody up with this one. I don't know where it came from, but it popped up yesterday on one of my feeds. This is ABC, and are these some of the police that they're firing or laying off up in Seattle?
Hey! Stop!
Terrible.
Yeah, what the hell's up with that?
Fucking enrages.
God
day you got to watch some shit like
that. And that's my point. Every day there's something like this. Now, this was a black gentleman out there that clearly had his hands on his head. What the hell? What are you going to do? Drop kicking him into his lower back, and that guy... Kidney kick. I mean, give me a goddamn break, you fucking asshole. I just wanted to jump in there and, but in my day, I would have probably lost my shit and probably got killed or beat up or something.
You remember that video of that guy crawling on the floor in Florida in a hotel begging a cop not to shoot him? And this video goes on for like 20 minutes, and this guy's pleading for his life. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. And then the guy fucking shoots him. He got acquitted this week.
He got acquitted.
Yeah.
So, and they had video of the guy begging. He was down on the floor crawling. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. And how do you acquit something like that? What is there lesser charges?
He was within his power.
He was
doing what he was trained to do.
He's within his power to exterminate a human being.
Yep.
Nobody has that fucking power.
That was the biggest case of execution. I mean, the most clear case of a flat out execution I've ever seen on a Facebook Live. He executed him.
Okay, so that was an execution, whereas George Floyd was an execution through suffocation. Okay, so I don't know how we can keep score or rate these things. It's flat out murder.
You can't. Death is
it's
death.
it's murder. Okay, all right. Well, on to the next thing. We talked earlier in the show or in the program or whatever we got going on here about the possibilities of Susan Rice being the VP pick. I am so against all of them, and I'm not going to say I will settle for any of them because I'm not president or whatever. But Trump, take your butt Trump and peddle it somewhere else. And David Dole's really good about saying, who do you want to fight, Trump or Biden? And I would say to David, how long have we been saying this? Fighting. What has it yielded in the past? With Trump, you're going to have more people agitated. It might get to the point where we do have nooses hanging out in front of the White House. I don't know. With Biden, it's going to be neoliberal shit. With Trump, it's going to be neoliberal shit. It's going to be fascism. I just don't know what to tell anybody except vote for whoever you're going to fucking vote for, and I'm not going to shame you for it. That's it. But here's a little expose on the potential Susan Rice for VP. And Max Blumenthal, when I started doing shows back in 2016, 2015, he was one of my idols, and he still is, as far as comprehensive reporting being the truth. Max Blumenthal, Naomi Klein, Naomi Wolf, even, Medea Benjamin, the list goes on. So let's listen to this for a few minutes. This is an expose on Susan Rice.
Communism. So that's this. So it's so phony. The attack on Karen Bass is so phony. And then you have Susan Rice, who is, if Tulsi Gabbard was right that Hillary was the queen of all warmongers, then Susan Rice is like the princess of warmongers.
Bingo.
Yeah. Well, also, a big problem I think with Susan Rice, to be honest with you, aside from her being a warmonger and being terrible for reasons that we on the left know, is she's bad on television. We're trying to run a presidential campaign, and this is someone who's never been elected to any office and is not charismatic. You know what I mean? That's part of why I think the Susan Rice, even considering is so crazy that I'm like, this is as backroom a decision as it could ever be made. This is who Obama got placed on the board at Netflix. They're just doing it because it's they all like her. I'm like, this person, no one in America knows who this person is.
Exactly. And let's be real. The only reason she's being considered is because of the political moment we're in, and because Biden, given his own history of being one of the authors of Jim Crow, has gotten boxed into saying that he will pick a black woman. Right. But Susan Rice, I grew up in D.C. I grew up in the same D.C. she grew up in, and she is not known or respected among black people in D.C. She went to National Cathedral School. That is that's where the Gore girls went. That's where the most elite white people in D.C. go to school. And she played field hockey and softball, and she's not really someone who's going to go out in the community and win over people for Joe Biden.
Right.
So that she's just someone who's respected in think tanks and in the arms industry, maybe that's it, and in the Democratic Party, because she's not going to challenge their corporate infrastructure.
And also, even if you're not a right winger who talks about Benghazi, all Trump has to do is say Iraq. Libya.
It's so much.
Whatever.
It's everything. It's they actually Susan Rice is this sort of perfect intersection of all the worst things you could pick in a running mate. It's she is tied to Benghazi. She's tied to General Flynn. She's a warmonger. She's basically been America's top cop and shit. She's got all the downsides, and the one upside is I guess that Obama likes her, and that his advisors are telling me he has to pick a black woman.
I'd say that pretty much sums it up, huh?
I love how they describe her as the second worst war hawk, because I picture her right up there with Hillary when I think of war hawk.
Yeah.
The first thing I think of when I envision her.
Yeah, and since Obama basically chose the candidate for president, why would it be any different that he shouldn't choose the VP candidate? So, again, I'm going to go with Kamala. You're going to go with Susan Rice now, and we'll know next Wednesday. And I'm thinking, they go with Susan Rice. You're going to have, like Obama did, takes us from 2 to 7 more wars. Has Trump taken us to any more wars yet?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we can kind of say that's a good thing.
He's trying to pull us out of the couple, but the military machine flipped out on him.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not trying to elevate Trump or rehabilitate him, but the warmongers, the war hawks in the Democratic Party are lethal to the planet, lethal to our environment, lethal to our country, economically especially. So when you say but Trump and you're facing neoliberal war hawks in the Democrats, so that's the new paradigm. So just think about that.
Thanks for that nightmare thought, Jilly.
Yeah, what Jilly say? What did Jilly say?
Maybe he'll pick KKK Carmella for VP and Rice for SOS, because two women of color is so progressive and virtue signaling.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you for the 5 spot.
That's a nightmare. Yeah.
Thanks, Curious. That's very kind of you. We're going to be doing some stuff. And we appreciate the super chats here. We've got some stuff coming up that we're going to make some changes and hopefully have more quality content, more interesting stuff, because we don't want to be like every other show out there. And I don't think we are now, because we have this back and forth thing with going on here all the time on the dive. So we do appreciate it, and so thank you all. I don't know. I think that just about wraps it for that. What do we have anything? We got Mike Figueredo. Oh, let's let Mike have a little bit of a say here. You know, I like Mike most of the time.
Did you see Mike's video where he's making fun of Shapiro for laughing for breaking down a video from Cardi B?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. It was
he's
like
crying. Yeah. He's laughing so hard.
Yeah,
if you want to laugh, go watch it, because
that is funny. That Ben Shapiro's, he's the
it's hilarious.
He's the biggest pearl clutcher in the world when it comes to that stuff. I'd say, Ben, you better get out and do some laps, buddy, before you start crying about that sort of stuff. Where you been, Ben? Where you been, Ben? That's the way we've been trending for the last 20 years. Anyway, here's Mike. Let's hear what Mike's got to say about Trump plans to destroy Social Security.
Doesn't really amount to anything, but make no mistake about it. He wants to cut Social Security, and that's why he said that, because the way that we primarily fund Social Security and Medicare, extremely popular programs, is through a payroll tax. So if you can cut the payroll tax, then you undermine Social Security, you undermine Medicare. Now, what Republicans oftentimes like to do is they like to underfund government programs, break them, and then use them breaking said program as evidence that government-run programs don't work. So they then apply a solution, because big government bad, and they suggest, maybe a private company should come along and actually handle this program because they can do a better job than government.
Ha!
It's a con. It's a lie. They break the programs because they want their donors on Wall Street to be able to profit off of these programs that are currently not profitable, right? Wall Street has been salivating over Social Security for decades now. They've been trying to find a way
now
to
listen to
undermine
this.
Social Security, but it's so popular that any politician who has attempted to undermine Social Security has failed miserably. Bill Clinton tried it. Bush tried it. Obama tried to cut Social Security, but guess what? Each time this happens, it fails because there is harsh pushback.
Yeah, I like this clip because he fingers Clinton, Bush, and Obama. They did do that. They did try and cut Social Security. Bill Clinton was ready to make a deal with Gingrich to privatize Social Security before Monica went in and had a cigar with Bill. That whole thing blew up. As I look back, they have always, remember, I think in the 2000s, it was Grover Norquist with his catchphrase of, we need to drown government in a bathtub. Well, that's what they're doing. And now this piece of shit, DeJoy, the Postmaster General, is strangling the post office. And Shanda and I talked about how the Democratic and the Republican Congress set it up to where, what was it? The post office has to fund their retirement plan for 75 fucking years.
Yep.
So tell us about how that works, Shanda. What does that do to the infrastructure of a post office, that they've got to fund their pension plans a whole lifetime out?
There's no other entity on the earth that has to do that. Not the unions, not anything. To me, it's just ludicrous. It is an attempt to get the post office to fail so that way they can privatize it, just like they're doing with Social Security. We know that's the name of the game. You know, they've gave billions to the private delivery industry, FedEx, DHL, during this pandemic, but we won't give the post office a flipping dime. Not a dime.
No, we won't give it. And they're trying to put the screws to the post office for a couple of reasons. One, it's apparent Trump with his, deal about the election fraud, the post office is safe to do it that way. Instead of fixing the aspects that he's pointing out, which I think is just, he's just gaslighting on that in a lot of respects. But to have the post office fund their pension plans for 75 years is absurd. That's almost impossible. It's kind of like the Toys R Us scenario, when Romney and Bain Capital got a hold of Toys R Us. That was actually profiting and keeping ahead and paying their bills.
That filed bankruptcy this year?
Yeah, that filed bankruptcy. They're done because of how the hedge funds were like vampires sucking everything out of Toys R Us and not reinvesting it into the thing. Well, this is what they're doing with the post office. This is what they've done with several entities, and they haven't been able to break the post office yet. They might do it this time, but I think that the public is going to
We're going to push back.
We're going to push back on this post office thing, because that's the post office we've always been able to count on. Sure, we've had some problems. Everything has a problem, but you don't over leverage them to fund a 75-year pension plan. 75 years
access to that pension.
Yeah.
Who has access to 75 years worth of pensions? I want to know.
Yeah, and you know what, folks? Here's news for you. You know what some of these companies' pension plans are being used for? They're slush funds, because when you have these 401ks and these pension plans, and I will debate this with somebody who is more engaged, but I really know about what Union Carbide did and Dow Chemical. Remember when Bhopal went off and they killed all those Indian people over there? I think it was 15,000 in 15 minutes or 5,000 in 15 minutes. I should know that figure. I apologize sincerely. But they killed a buttload of people over there. You know how Union Carbide paid off the Indian government? With their employees' pension plan. It's a slush fund. They use it because they have control over that. So this 401k shit, these pension plans have been a scam because of the laws that your Congress, the Democrats and Republicans, and I'll go back to what I say, what have the Democrats done for the people versus what they've done for the corporations for decades? You lose. That debate's over. They have been taking care of the corporations ever since the 80s. Maybe even the 70s, maybe all the way back, but it really went on steroids with Bill Clinton when he sold out the Democratic Party to Wall Street. I think Bill Clinton, to me, is one of the worst presidents in history. Worst presidents in history, and I will also say that although Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama were both good speakers, but you know what? Not such a good president, because
they were good salesmen.
They were good salesmen. Look where we are today. I mean, Obama's picking your candidate for president of the United States, and he'll probably pick the VP. Come on. I don't want to beat the hell out of Obama. I wouldn't stand a chance, but I'd sure take a chunk out of his ass. And there's many people who could, because we're not all just stupid slaves to the oligarch. So again, vote for who you want to, but and Jilly said, I think it was Jilly here, didn't she? Said Biden tried to privatize. Yeah, Biden was probably more behind privatizing Social Security than Obama was. He was. Yeah. Absolutely, Jilly. Good point.
He's pushed for it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And this is where Bernie failed to call him out during the debate.
Yeah, Bernie. And you kind of wonder why Bernie did that. Well, maybe because he knew what was coming.
Exactly.
And God, I'm not going to beat up on Bernie, because his policies have changed the whole paradigm of what's going on. Thank you, Bernie, for that. God damn it, I wish somebody would have had your back right next to you instead of these tools that worked in your campaign, or whoever changed your mind on how you need to roll, or maybe you have some information that we don't. But damn it, I'm done with you, but I'm going to carry your policies to the finish line or until I drop over dead. That's
it's
it.
It's not policy for us. It always has.
It has. It's policy.
What drew me to Bernie in the first damn place. It wasn't because he was a cute little white-haired old guy screaming and yelling. No, he drew me with his policies.
Again, I know the chat has different philosophies. Some of them are going with who would you rather fight, Dole or Trump or Biden, whatever. My fighting is to put the screws on Biden all the way to the end, because as Trump's cratering this pandemic so bad, damn Stump should be able to beat this guy. But you know what? Every time Biden opens his pie hole, he makes that less and less inevitable.
Well, and Biden's going to be out there in the public eye a lot more in the next
I don't believe it.
We've got debates coming up. He is going to really step in it over the next few weeks.
Something's going to happen. He's going to get sick. He can't make it, or they're going to have a black ops operation. We're going to get us into another war so Biden can skip the debates. How you like that one? Isn't that a scary thought? Woo! Do. I mean, really. Something they know that they can't have Joe walk into these debates, at least the ones that I've seen structured up to this point, and do well against this crazy fascist fucker in the White House.
Do you remember the Hillary double thing? Remember when Hillary collapsed on 9/11 at 9/11?
Yeah.
She showed up like 2 hours later, but it didn't look like Hillary. But it did look like Hillary.
It's that.
What if they do some creepy shit?
Yeah, it's that Stargate symbiote thing, I guess. I put something in her ear, and
looks like Biden.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, once again I digress. God, we're running over, and we didn't think we had enough material for today.
Well,
what the hell?
There's plenty of material when you're in the late stages of a capitalism collapse.
Yeah, it is. It's.
Bye, Amber.
Bye, Amber. Have a nice day. See you at the... she's going to see us tomorrow. Does that mean we can skip our production meeting?
Yeah, don't we have a production meeting?
I think don't you get away from that.
Out there, drive carefully.
Yeah, Amber. What's going on here? Shanda, we have an outgo song that I thought I put into the...
I don't know which one. I've dropped you a couple of songs the last few days.
Yeah, you did. And
there's some in the chat.
Let me find it. So what do you want to tell everybody? We got an interview possibly tonight. I think we got an interview tonight with...
I'm terrible. Do you know her name?
Marita Estrada.
Yeah.
And
she's running for General Assembly in California.
And Fatima, and I can't pronounce her last name. And then we have Angelica. I don't know. I should have this shit in front of me, but my computer went off. But no, they're all running for Assembly, I think, in California. We're looking forward to that. So we should be having that around 5:30 Pacific time today. So check in, and it's gonna work. We've decided to go under the Accidental Activist, Shanda's channel, because she's a great interviewer, and we hope Rhonda can join us for that interview as well.
Oh yeah.
That should be fun. And let me show you this picture here. I just let's put this memory in everybody's mind.
Her name got removed from the ballot.
Whose name?
Maria
Estrada?
I don't know. I need to do some homework.
Yeah, let's follow that up, because that would be a question to parse to her tonight, is getting your...
Yeah, off to Black Bear. Tell Kevin we said hey.
Hey, Kevin. I thought he was at 10 o'clock today. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got this image. We want to leave you with this image while I find this is a terrible. This is the kind of mail I get from some of my friends. Isn't this terrible? This is in such poor taste. Is this Bill Barr? This is Bill.
It's in poor taste, but it's true.
Yeah, it's in poor. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I like Donnie's hairstyle there. It's very retro. So anyway, thank you. I'll say we hate to kill you with that image, but it's really. God, he's holding his little pee-pee. Anyway, that's awful. That's awful. So again, thank you everybody. Thank you, Curious, for the donation. We appreciate the super chat, and we're gonna go out with the. This is what is this song? It's the. Oh God, what's the name of this song?
Is it What Have You Done For Me Lately?
No, it's the Rage the Machine one.
Killing in the Name Of.
Killing in the Name of.
Yeah, but it's got a German spin to it, kind of.
Yeah, it's the little Dutch boys out on the cliff. Where did we put that? Is that in the chat?
It's in the chat.
God, I'm finding it. Well, I'm really failing here this morning. Let me find it. So, yeah, we have a production meeting at noon for all of the folks that want to join that are showrunners. We sent out the messages, and oh my God, I can't find this. Shanda, we got
Want me to find it?
Yeah,
It's in there.
find
I
it.
know it's in there.
I know it's in there too, but I can't seem to find it. We need to. I thought I already loaded it, so.
I thought you loaded it too, but I will look for it.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I think no, I don't have it here. I don't have it.
We didn't cover the Charlemagne P. Diddy story endorsing Nina Turner, which, you know.
Yeah, P. Diddy with the endorsing Nina Turner. That was a good story. So Charlemagne and P. Diddy, what did they say? That you guys, Joe, you really need to get behind Nina Turner? And
well, that 100 prominent people of color sent out a letter endorsing Nina Turner to be picked as VP. And, you know, come on. We know how that's going to turn out.
yeah, well, they're not going to pick Nina Turner because they don't want somebody to upstage Joe Biden. So that's
okay. I found it in the dive.
I got it. I found it. Anyway, this is Rage Against the Machine, and it's kind of a different kind of a bent on the song, but it's fun. So anyway, thanks again, guys. Thanks for joining us. Let me know if we have sound on this. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
told ya. Now you do what they 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 told ya. And now you do what they told ya. And now you do what they told ya. Det bitte folk med den dutur. I hurtig worship om du er så. For no hurt to see ya. Now I'm a slayer. Those to die. Justified. For wearing the badge. Think the chosen white. Justified. Those that die. For wearing the badge. Think the chosen white. Those that die. Justified. For wearing the badge. Think the chosen white. Justified. Those that die. For wearing the badge. Think the chosen white. Some of those that work forces. While the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces. While the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces. While the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces. Were the same that burn crosses. Now you do what they told ya. Now you do what they told ya. And now you do what they told ya.